Hi there, in this video I'm going to talk about side hustles. There are many out there, but I'm going to specifically talk about 4 high leverage ones that are not intended to make you money quickly, but rather to enable you to scale them into a fully fledged, cash flowing business that you can one day replace your day job with them. I've done each of these before, so I'll tell you how to get started, help you assess whether they might be a good fit for you, and also estimate their difficulty. So let's get started. The first one is niche blogs, where you create a website and publish articles on some niche or topic. And over time, with more articles, you start gaining traffic and you are able to monetize through AdSense and affiliate links. For example, Go Downsize that talks about tiny houses and yachts, and during peak month, it earns over $30,000 per month. And there are many other examples for niche blogs that cash flow over 5 figures monthly purely from AdSense and affiliate links. The biggest pro with a side hustle like that is that it gives you lots of flexibility and it's super simple. All you need is to have a website, publish articles, and you make money over time as you gain more traffic. And there are many resources and courses to show you how to get started. I did one called The Passive Income Geek from Morten Storgard, and he has a YouTube channel dedicated to the topic, which I'll link in the description below. He's not sponsoring me and I'm not affiliated to him in any way, but I highly recommend his step-by-step course. He has built multiple profitable niche blogs, and if you are interested in having a niche blog as a side hustle, I highly recommend that you check him out. The biggest drawback for me is that researching and writing these articles that are designed to bring in traffic was extremely boring. I created this blog about home wood furniture. You might not be able to see it if you're searching in late 2023 or after that, because I'm not renewing the hosting for the website. I wrote 2 articles and that was enough for me to realize that this is not something I want to commit to for the long term. To put in numbers, a niche blog as a side hustle is simple, but it takes time to see it cash flow. Quoting Morten, a realistic expectation for revenue when you're just getting started is $400 to $1,000 per month after a year of posting 2 to 3 articles per week. And though it's not difficult per se, it might also be really boring to you if you don't enjoy writing on random topics. Hiring freelance writers is an option and it is discussed in different courses for niche blogs, but most likely you will need to know how to write good articles because otherwise you won't be able to manage other writers to do the same. Next are SaaS businesses. SaaS stands for Software as a Service, and it basically means providing services digitally through a website or software that are subscription based, rather than one-time sales like selling products or courses, in which case that would be considered an online business and not a SaaS business. There are plenty of examples for projects that generate income monthly, and that's the first thing I ever tried to do because I learned how to code after high school. And before you think you can do that in case you don't know how to code, there are 2 ways that you can build a SaaS business without writing a single line of code. For example, take Brett Williams, who built DesignJoy. That's a business for building websites, and it makes over $70,000 per month. And that's a milestone for 2 years ago. And he built his business and provides his services through a no-code tool called Webflow all by himself. And there are many other examples and resources for building SaaS businesses without knowing how to code. And if that's why you're on the fence, it's probably easier today than ever before thanks to large language models like ChatGPT. The other way is that you can simply buy an existing cash-flowing SaaS business without needing to build it. You most likely won't have $400,000 to buy a SaaS business that profits tens of thousands of dollars every month, but you can look for seller finance deals in broker websites like Acquire.com and QuietLight. There are many SaaS businesses with solo founders like DesignJoy, but even with all the free resources available, it is more involved than niche blogs and you would have to invest much more time upfront before you're up and running. In the past, I built a website called Bootcamps FYI that aggregates data for coding bootcamps and creates a community for anyone who is enrolled in one and looks for a job after graduating. But I did not end up following through with it. One common advice that I failed to implement was that I haven't solved the problem that I or someone else that I knew had. Rather, I was just trying to do something that I thought would work without doing any validation for the idea. If you check the URL as of today, you will see an Airtable, but I'm no longer the owner of that domain and what you see is not my project. The third one is creating content on social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even Facebook and LinkedIn. Each has their own pros and cons, but I've done only YouTube for the past couple of months, so I'm going to speak from that perspective. It probably goes without saying that over time you will expose yourself to numerous opportunities and you will have multiple ways to support yourself. And there are many examples to showcase that, like Thomas Frank and Ali Abdaal. But the real advantage with social media is that you have virtually limitless options for the content that you can create compared to writing articles about obscurities when building a niche blog, unless you're really into it. So social media gives you more options to create content that you will be more interested in. Myself, for example, I always read about geopolitics and I considered making videos where I would do a deep dive on certain topics. But after relocating to New York City, the exposure at work and starting to invest myself made me obsessed, as cliche as it sounds, about making money and succeeding financially, so I opted in for that instead. If you are considering creating online, the best starting point for brainstorming channel ideas is your personal interests and experience. Because that's how you give yourself the best shot at doing something long enough to see yourself improve and pivot until you succeed. You might also think that social media or making videos will not fit you because you're shy, but honestly, I'm like that myself. I don't use Instagram and I'm barely active on Facebook. I was never into posting pictures of myself, let alone videos. So I never thought that I would be able to make videos and publish them for anyone to see, but you'll be surprised. Once you're past making your first few pieces of content, regardless of what platform you upload them to, you will lose a lot of that initial fear. Making videos, and I believe doing social media in general, is not easy, but it's completely permissionless, and like any other skill, you get better the more you do it. I am by no means someone who is good on video, but I'm much more relaxed and natural now compared to my earlier videos. And while I have no idea how much the average content creator on YouTube or any social media makes, in my opinion, becoming excellent at producing online, regardless of what you produce, so long that you're not only consuming, is the single highest leverage activity that you can do for disproportional future gains. The last one is swing or options trading. And if you also like following market trends and pondering over good trades or investments, you might find reading books about investing and trading like Margin of Safety interesting and organically develop expertise. And then you can start doing it yourself to gradually generate income on a monthly or weekly basis. I have covered this in more depth in previous videos where I talk about options, showing you what I do and how much money I make weekly, so you can check them out if you're more interested. While I'm sure that there are many swing and option traders that make well over $10,000 a month, I don't know anyone personally or well enough to showcase and vouch for as an example. In numbers, technically all you need to do to start trading or investing is just to open a brokerage account, transfer some funds, and you're good to go. But you must educate yourself and act on your risk tolerance and financial goals. So please take this rating with a grain of salt. Your experience can be very different than mine. Trading options can be as simple as learning the wheel strategy and some Greeks, and that's it, against reading options volatility and pricing cover to cover only for an introduction. So if you also ultimately want to replace your day job with something of your own, start dedicating evenings and some weekends to any of these side hustles and give them a real try. Whatever you decide to do, make sure to keep a growth mindset and stay consistent, because nothing that you start, you will be good at it enough to see success right from the get-go. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.